On this episode of the Rebel Health Tribe podcast, available at rebelhealthtribe.com, we welcome Lisa Herndon from lisascounterculture.com.
My family, my mother came to this country when she was 16 from Poland, and she was raised with traditional foods, and so we had no money, we got traditional foods growing up for the most part, but then there's that whole thing with Consumer Reports and cereal and convenience foods and low fat and all that, and so that kind of started seeping into our house, and that's when probably everyone's health issues kind of started, more or less.
Yeah, I remember that exact. So like around late 70s, around the 70s, that stuff started seeping in. Yeah, I remember that.
Right, and then they started selling egg whites, all that stuff.
Yeah, in the carton.
yeah, and they don't sell egg yolks anymore. Have you ever noticed that?
Yeah, no egg yolks.
Where are those? I want that box.
They're in the ice cream.
That's coming up.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Rebel Health Tribe Podcast. I'm Joe Rignola with Michael Roseline. What's up, Michael?
Hello, Joe. How's it going?
It's going. We are, I don't know, man. I think we're getting close to baby number 2, like any day now. So it's crazy. So life is a little bit insane right now. But today we're joined by Lisa Herndon from lisascounterculture.com. Hey, Lisa.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Oh, thanks for being here. It's a pleasure.
Hi, Lisa.
Hi.
So, Lisa, we always start off just by asking folks a little bit about you, about your background. Tell us what you do and why you do it.
Well, currently I am working as a wellness coach, working with people trying to recover their health naturally. I have a background similar to Michael with FDN, among other past careers in the health industry. I spent many years as a marriage, family, child counselor as well, and have always been interested in health. And then, so I'm trying to balance that with my own home life and kids and chaos. Mm-hmm. So it's fun. I work with people all over the place. About half my practice is local, and about half of it is virtual. So the benefits of the internet has been pretty amazing.
Great. So what's counterculture? What's Lisa's Counterculture all about?
So when I first started Lisa's Counterculture, I primarily taught fermentation classes. So I've had a pretty long interest in probiotics and cultured foods, which is why gravitating towards your Rebel Health with the Megaspore and all this stuff has been such a great fit for me. And then out of that, I taught these classes, and then I started asking people. I've asked them all these questions all the time, so I started writing them all down, and I put together a cookbook. So that was like the next step. So I could just say it's in the book.
Nice.
So
yes.
Explain stuff over and over. So the cookbook is kind of a combination of fermentation and nutrient-dense traditional food recipes with explanations of why you're eating or choosing to eat certain types of foods. And then from there, I just kept working with people one-on-one and needed a little bit more training for how to do coaching, and got into the FDN program, and I've also completed another applied clinical nutrition program as well. And it's been kind of taken off from there.
That's great. That's great. You said you were a marriage counselor before this?
Yep. I did graphics. I did marriage counseling.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I mean, that seems to be the typical story with so many people. They come from in most cases, a completely different career, from, mechanical engineer or politics or, teaching. What was that, Mike?
Bartender,
yeah.
Teacher. We have had a few teachers. We've had, I think Jason was a chemical engineer.
Yeah, mechanical.
Yeah, I don't know. We should make a past lives post on our site of all the
That'd be interesting, yeah.
Previous professions of all of the guests on the podcast.
Yeah. So what were you said you did graphics too? So graphic design and then.
Yeah, because social work in general doesn't pay very well.
Yeah.
And I didn't have another income to rely on. I wasn't married or anything, so it was just me trying to get out of debt from school. And then I basically learned how to do all that just to kind of pay the bills. The Bay Area here is pretty darn expensive. So.
Right. What did you go to school for? Is that what you went to school for social work?
Well, I got a degree in education for marriage, family, child counseling.
Okay, gotcha. That doesn't sound like an easy job.
No. I don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah, no, it does. It sounds like it sounds like it could be stressful. Right? Is it family counseling, or it was couples counseling, marriage counseling?
All of that. So family, couples. I did a year and a half working with just teenage girls who were placed like in group homes. Very disturbing situation. And of course, most people that you're at school with are all there because they all have histories with not the best, not the best experiences growing up. So we're all trying to kind of solve our own issues and health issues and this and that. So
right. Oh, that's interesting. So kind of like
crazy people teaching crazy people.
Yeah. Well, that's like unhealthy people trying to make people healthy. We've all gone through our own health struggles. Exactly. Mike and I have talked about it a lot, and then we figured it out and we decided we wanted to help other people. So it's kind of in line with that. So was that sort of the progression for you too? You did your family counseling and then did some graphic design work because you had some ridiculous school loans, as you said. Mm-hmm. And so was there a shift in your own health that you noticed that you needed to recover your own health?
So much of this mental health and relationship issues, a lot of it is based in nutrition, right? And that was missing. I wasn't trained in any of that, and it's really hard to get anywhere with people who had really, I don't know, for lack of better words, sucky diets.
Right.
They're all just depleted. Their microbiomes are all messed up. Their neurotransmitters are all messed up. Hormones. Mm-hmm. And you can do all the mental work you can try, but without a good foundation of diet and other lifestyle stuff, you're just kind of stuck.
Right. Right. So what was the let's go back. About how long ago was that when you were doing the family counseling?
Now I'm going to show how old I am.
No.
It's probably been about, I guess now, 15 years.
Okay, that's not too bad. And so did you notice with your own health issues, you think, that having that job that, be sure, you're talking to people who are probably, at rock bottom a lot of times.
Yes.
That must be stressful.
Yes, and that was back on my vegetarian days. That certainly didn't help either.
Wow, okay, so you're a vegetarian.
Or you call it a carbo-vegetarian diet.
Right. So
Pizzatarian.
Pizzatarian, yeah.
Pasta. I think I was more of a pasta girl.
Pastatarian.
Right. So what kind of health issues were you dealing with? I guess the conglomeration of poor diet and a stressful kind of lifestyle. What did that sort of manifest as?
Yeah, well, not having, I followed the whole, non-fat, higher carb, all that stuff. So that doesn't really help with brain function or adrenal health. And then, of course, being in situations with families and couples that are stressed out also wasn't too helpful. So I was having issues with probably, mood disorder, mood dysregulation, hormone, just that, the endless trying to figure out what was healthy. I looked pretty healthy, right? But it was like I was, running and exercising hours and, all that nonsense. So, yeah.
So fatigue, stuff like that, yeah. Cognitive issues, maybe. And you must have said at one point, how do you help other people if you're struggling with some of this stuff yourself?
That, and and it was odd too because at that point I wasn't married. I didn't have children, so it's kind of odd to be doing counseling for life events that you haven't experienced yourself.
Well, that's interesting, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what most of us, a lot of people either go into that career as a second career, or they come out of grad school where they're young and they don't know squat, which is what I was. And so having that experience behind me, certainly helps. Because now I know what it's like to be a parent. I know what it's like to be married.
So when did you discover, when did you make the shift in your diet from vegetarian or sort of the standard American vegetarian diet to something that looks more like a real food diet? When did you make that shift?
Probably when I got pregnant.
Okay.
Yeah, my first kid. My first kid's now 13.
Okay, so that was probably around the tail end of when you were doing the family counseling?
Yeah, it was tail end. I got married. I got married kind of late. So started cooking for somebody else, so had to kind of figure that whole thing out, how to figure out how to cook. You know, I didn't really have a lot of cooking skills. It's funny now, like I cook all the time and I teach cooking. But I know people who know me back then are like, I was so proud of myself when I figured out stovetop stuffing, you know.
Yeah, I remember those days.
I remember making that. I started cooking for my family around 12 or 13, and stovetop was a staple. I think we ate it like twice a week.
Yeah, when it's like 20 cents. I think it still is like 20 cents. How do they do that?
Crazy.
Subsidies.
Right, exactly. Subsidies. Big time. Yeah, absolutely. So, was it a progression from you know the old diet to the new one, or did you discover something that kind of looked like paleo, or something that just
No, it was I consulted with a nutritionist, a friend of mine who was in the tech world with editing and graphics with me, who was getting her certification as a nutritionist. She turned me on to Nourishing Traditions by Sally Fallon.
Okay, yep.
And then I had gestational diabetes with my first child, so it was a whole upside down. Like I could do full fat, my blood sugar would stay low. It was just crazy. So just that whole shift of learning about raw milk, or you know.
And then you saw a pretty drastic improvement in your health.
Yeah. It was strange. Like then I didn't have to struggle with my weight or anything anymore.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. So when did you decide that you wanted to go back to school and sort of make a career shift? And how scary was that to make a career shift?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I guess I just really I've always loved helping people, which is what drew me to counseling in the first place.
Right.
My original intent after I graduated college, I went to UCLA, was to become a chiropractor, and I got kind of diverted into counseling instead. I'm not sure how that happened, but
was there any pressure from parents or family to go?
No, I've been pretty much on my own figuring that stuff out. You know, so I ended up going that route instead, and then it just seemed like the nutrition piece was really important. And once you get pregnant, I was really motivated to figure out really what was best to put into my body, since I was incubating another person. And then I was downing all these supplements and just doing all this crazy stuff I would have never conceived of doing before.
Right.
And it just kind of stuck.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. And so what's the first thing you went? You did like a nutrition course? FDN's not the first thing you did, right?
No, I just did. Well, I did. I had a mentor for fermentation stuff, and then I took a lot of just kind of online nutrition courses. I didn't really finish a degree in nutrition, and because I looked at a lot of programs, but a lot of the programs required you to kind of follow the whole typical American diet.
The pyramid,
Right, the low fat. I just wasn't. I couldn't sit through that. I was too old to go sit and be told this nonsense about no cholesterol and all that.
Yeah, right. I went through the same.
Yeah, I considered it also. Like I looked at the registered dietitian programs, the clinical nutritionist programs, and by that point I had learned that it's mostly nonsense, and I don't do well sitting in classes while being taught nonsense, as evidenced by my school career. So I never thought I would make it all the way through, so I didn't even start.
Yeah, at that point, it's just about, do you really want the credentials that bad, even though you're not going to use any?
Which they'll try to take away from you or threaten you with if you're, because we've had Steph Granke and who else? Aglaé is a dietitian, right?
Right.
Yeah, and so they talked about pressure they've gotten about, teaching people things that are actually true.
Yeah, like butter is bad for you.
Yeah.
So, lots of disclaimers, lots of liability disclaimers are signed here.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah. So that was basically why, because I had people coming to me, like from Bowman College, and because I'm not too far from them, I got a lot of their people coming who weren't actually being taught nutrition truly, and they were asking me all these questions that I didn't know the answers to, because I'm just such a huge information junkie for reading and listening and podcasts and all that stuff. So.
When did you use obviously, like you said, you started out with the focus on cultured food, fermented food.
Yeah.
Was that one of the first things that was sort of on your radar as being really important?
Yes.
And
the probiotic content. But it's funny, because now that I've evolved, like here I've been telling, I feel like I've had to keep redoing what I tell people. because, I was promoting primarily eating probiotic foods, thinking they actually had a big effect on your biome, and now I'm not so sure about that. So I think they're really useful, helpful for enzymes, digestion, absorption, blah, blah, blah. But to be honest, I don't think they're actually doing much as far as colonizing or...
Yeah, they don't seem to repopulate as you've listened, I know you have, to our microbiome series.
Yeah, exactly. Before Megaspore, I never, ever recommended a probiotic supplement to anybody, ever, because I thought they were just this was the first puree, like one that made sense to me, that I could see results and that it made sense clinically.
Well, you were ahead of the curve because I recommended about 26 different brands before I got to Megaspore. And I saw occasional results, like occasionally people would, but I would always start them with that at the same time I was starting like 6 other things and changing their diet and changing all their stuff. So I never really knew until we got to this stuff where we're getting feedback from people we're not working with, like we're not changing their diet, we're not adding in other things, and then we started hearing crazy stories back, and it's like, okay. But yeah, at least you didn't, recommend like thousands of dollars in products that probably don't work like I did.
Yeah.
Because the fermented foods, I mean, it's not that they're not beneficial. I mean, some people have trouble with them if they have certain types of GI issues, but I mean, they're definitely still good to eat. I had kimchi with my breakfast today, so it's...
Well, I teach the fermented foods a little differently than most people, so I'm pretty particular about trying to avoid mold contamination.
Right.
I only stick to anaerobic fermentation, so I pretty much won't recommend someone not use anaerobic jar that's actually sealed, because I find it makes a big difference for the histamines and for people's reactions.
Right.
That's not to say that there's lots of people who can go through a drive-through eating place and they eat the food and they feel fine, but people, by the time they come to me, are not able to do that anymore.
Right.
So it's really important to get a really clean, if you're going to do ferment, just do a really clean ferment.
So meaning like an airtight container, so you cut down.
Yeah, something that can off-gas and not allow air in, kind of like when you're making beer.
Right. Interesting.
Yeah. So I use a system called the probiotic jar, just because that's the only one I found that's scalable and affordable for most people. It's well constructed.
And so it's just an airtight jar.
It's a modified phyto-romacoli jar, so it has an airlock with this like really precisely drilled hole on the top with the silicone grommet, and so it lets the fermentation gases, as they become excessive, come off. Right, they can expand out and leave the jar, but then no new air can come in. Right.
Gotcha.
Right.
Yeah, I've seen those. Yep.
Yeah, they're really, and I mean, even if you don't think there's a lot of science behind it, they just taste so much better, and they're just so much more consistently, you don't have to worry about wasting your time making something that's going to taste bleh.
That's true, and sometimes I feel like I need to force that stuff down
Yeah, no, it should always taste good. I'm all about
it should taste good.
Yeah, if it doesn't taste good, don't. Life's too short.
Yeah, right, exactly.
The only ones I'll eat are kimchi, and if a kraut has... I found I really like horseradish in sauerkraut and leeks or something like spicy. Other than that, I just don't care for the taste of most ferments, but I found that I like those, so I roll with those. Yeah, the horseradish sauerkraut is that's pretty much now I'm spoiled. If our kraut doesn't have horseradish in it, I don't eat it.
Well, I think you're thinking of the same company I am. They do theirs anaerobically for at least 30 days, so it's not longer pure time. Huh?
That comes in a bag?
Yeah, farmhouse cultures, yeah.
Yeah, that's one. That gave us the idea. Now we make it. But we put horseradish and stuff in
it. I've seen her setup. I know the owner of that company, Catherine Lucas.
Oh, cool. That's good to know.
Yeah, it's a pretty small community for the fermentation community.
So, Lisa, where did you grow up?
Well, I was raised... I'm working on the growing up part, but I was raised...
I hear you. Right there.
I was raised in Southern California, in the San Fernando Valley.
Okay.
Kind of outside of Los Angeles, a little north of Los Angeles, and I went to college down there.
Oh, you went to college down there.
I came up to the Bay Area to go to grad school.
Got you. So that's where you are now.
It's better up here, so I stayed up here.
You like it better up in the Bay Area?
Oh, yeah. Well, compared to the Los Angeles?
Sure, yeah. Sure. That makes sense.
Other than it's colder.
It's cold and foggy and rainy a lot, right?
Well, I'm right next to Stanford University.
Uh-huh.
So it's much sunnier here. I rarely go up to San Francisco to the city.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't do cold. I don't do cold, fog, or snow.
Yeah. No, I don't blame you. I think I would probably not want to leave my bed if it was like that the whole time.
Yeah.
And was there an emphasis on health as a kid growing up in Southern California, or did you kind of grow up with a standard?
Yeah. I mean, there's an emphasis on. I don't know if it's not true health, but there's that whole. We all have to be super skinny and tan and. Right.
Yeah, that's something that was you kind of caught up in with that with the
aerobics.
Valley. Yeah.
All that stuff. That's when the non-fat stuff came in. My family, my mother came to this country when she was 16 from Poland, and she was raised with traditional foods, and since we had no money, we got traditional foods growing up for the most part. But then there's that whole thing with Consumer Reports and cereal and convenience foods and low fat and all that, and so that kind of started seeping into our house, and that's when probably everyone's health issues kind of started more or less.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember that exact. So like around late 70s, around the 70s, all that stuff started seeping in. Yeah, I remember that. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Right, and then they started selling egg whites, all that stuff.
Yeah, in the carton.
Yeah, and they don't sell egg yolks anywhere. Have you ever noticed that?
Yeah, no egg yolks.
Where are those? I want that box.
They're in the ice cream.
Yeah, where do they go?
I don't know, but I'd like to buy those.
You said you mentioned that you liked working with people, you wanted to help people. What was the reason for you to go into the family counseling back then? Was that was the first thing you went to school for, right?
Right. Well, relationships are kind of what it's all about, right? People and experiences. So for me, that's kind of that's why we get up each day, people and experiences. Mm-hmm. So when you don't have those working, helping people navigate that, to have a healthy, because having a great diet, having great health, but not having anyone to share it with or no love, there's not a whole lot of meaning left for me. So for me, that was kind of what drew me, was trying to help people sort that through.
Was it something that you struggled with a little bit yourself?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm hesitant to say too much about it in case.
No, you don't have to. I'm not trying to pry, but.
Yeah. But given my exposure, I'm surprised how well I've done with my relationships now. Uh-huh. I'm blessed with an amazingly understanding husband, super healthy, normal family. I've never met anybody with such a normal family.
Right.
Bizarre. And then they all like each other and just tell each other things. It's really weird.
That's nice.
And
that's important.
And I've got these amazing children. I'm blessed with these 2 children who are loving and happy and giving and thoughtful spirits. And I just wake up each day just kind of stunned that I landed in this little planet of mine here.
Well, you shouldn't be stunned. You deserve it.
Thank you. Thank you.
How old are your kids? You said one's 13?
11 and 13. I have a girl, 13, and an 11-year-old boy.
Awesome. And
they're best friends. Like, how disgusting is that?
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm the last of 6 kids, and we're all pretty close too, so it's great.
Yeah, but you guys were close growing up, because my brother and I, we were not. We're close now, but we weren't close growing up.
Yeah. Well, I think all kids go through that.
I don't know. They like each other. They immediately check in with each other each day. They just can't wait to spend time together.
That's so great. Wow, that's fantastic.
That's a good abnormality to have.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, I love seeing it, but sometimes I'm kind of like, what? What's wrong with these 2?
And what's your husband do?
That's a good question.
Can't answer it. CIA.
I don't know. Technically speaking, he's he bosses a bunch of people around at a local tech company up the street.
Okay.
He's an engineer, an electrical EE guy, and he works for this company that makes computers go super fast. That's good. Yeah, like virtual machine stuff. I kind of have about this much understanding of what he does.
Fair enough. That's great. And the whole family's on board with eating healthy food and living a healthy lifestyle?
Well, the kids are. The husband's coming along slowly.
Okay.
Yeah.
You chip away.
I see him, it's funny because, he had a cold, and he was downing. You know, I used a lot of products from MediHerb and Standard Process as well, and he was downing all his Congoplex. Had he known what was in Congoplex, there's no way he would have been eating that. Because it's not like brain and spleen.
Yeah, well, just tell him it's vitamins.
Easier in pill form, yeah, it's vitamins.
He was happy.
We'll make sure he doesn't listen to this episode.
Yeah, don't listen. No, I run all these functional lab tests on him. He's on his. Everyone has their own protocol, so it's pretty cool. They all have their customized, personalized protocol.
Great.
You know, our diet is a little bit customized to each person. Our plates are loaded a little differently.
Oh, that's good. So fast metabolizers, slow metabolizers,
exactly.
that type of thing. Gotcha. Makes sense. Very cool. So if someone wants to, find out more about you, your website's the best way to do that?
Yes.
And they could find out more about working with you at...
yes, they can. There's a thing for a 15-minute free consult.
Oh, great.
Website doesn't get updated as much as it should. However, the website's quite pretty. I had
It is quite pretty.
On it. Mm-hmm. Well, I had your guy. I got full.
Oh, really?
Oh, Carl?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'm losing track of who he's. I know he works with a handful of our friends now at this point.
He's a wizard. He's amazing.
He's a wizard. I moved my site over to his stuff. He's great.
That's excellent. And so that's Lisa'sCounterculture.com.
Oh, it's even different than the last time I saw it.
Yeah. It's warmer. I just don't get that much time to write.
Are you still writing for the magazine?
Yes, for Paleo magazine.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, this issue has a pretty good one on kimchi, like all these weird facts about kimchi.
Oh, cool. Like
Is
what?
That it's spicy and delicious? Yeah, give us some weird facts on kimchi, or one or two.
Well, like how much they eat, and they have like kimchi refrigerators in Korea and stuff.
Oh, wow.
It comes with every meal, right? Or almost every meal?
Yeah, and there's a gazillion. There's a whole museum of kimchi there, and you can go and
museum?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So
that's fascinating. Like, what could possibly be in the museum? Just like different fermentation jars and
There's a huge history, and there's a gazillion. I mean, it's a very seasonal dish, so kimchi varies a lot depending on season and region. So it's kind of always generally has cabbage in it, but not always, and different complements. So it's interesting. There's quick, it's pretty fascinating how much they eat.
Where do you get the jars from?
From the Probiotic Jar website. So it's probioticjar.com.
Oh, okay. I'm just looking at your guide on your website, and I've never seen those type of jars. Yeah,
they're great. And the one thing that's nice about it is you can buy, depending on where you live, you can buy just the lid kit, just the top lid, and then you can go to any local, like Sur La Table, Crate and Barrel, any place, and buy just the base and swap out the lid.
Are those Mason's jar-sized lids?
Yeah, they all fit. They're interchangeable. So you can make the one problem with those big crocks, the harsh crocks which are no longer being made from Germany, was that the smallest size was 1 gallon.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah, so if you're making like a chutney or mayonnaise or some salsa or something like that, that's not too useful. So these jars come from anything from a ½ liter up to 5 liters. So you have like ½ liter, 1, 1.5, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's a lot of options, which makes it nice for moving things down to smaller sizes, for scaling it for if you're a 1-person household or a 10-person household or whatever. So.
And those lids you were talking about, those are the lids with the valve that will let air out, but not.
Yeah, and they're very time intensive because they're computer drilled, but then they're hand polished. They have to be really precise size for them to seal correctly.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe you should talk to the mic and see if they'll come in our discount club.
I should.
Yeah.
Write that down. I'll have Jessica.
Yeah, there you go.
Probioticjars.com?
Yeah, I have a link on my website.
Cool.
If you click it, I get affiliate link.
We will definitely click it. There you go.
But I do keep those local. I'm an authorized reseller here, but I don't move a lot because to be honest, there's not a lot. Since the product is so expensive for them to make it, there's not a lot of margin for resellers.
Sure, yeah, that makes sense.
So I mostly just stock it for convenience for people to purchase it directly here.
Excellent. All right, so what about what if folks can find you on Facebook or Instagram, Twitter, and all that stuff too?
Facebook. I have a Facebook page. This is Counterculture on Facebook. I don't do Twitter. I have a Twitter account. I have those accounts. I don't use them, to be honest. Pinterest.
I don't know how to tweet either.
I don't have time for that.
Yeah, I'm usually the one that does all the Instagramming and tweeting and stuff.
Although
Yeah.
I've
You
been
guys do
I've
an
been
amazing
Instagram
job.
stalking
Oh,
lately.
thank you.
Yeah.
Mike is the master of Facebook, though. He's got that down.
I got Facebook down, but Instagram, I don't know. I'm actually looking for a tattoo artist, and Instagram, I didn't know this, but is like the world headquarters of browsing tattoos. So I lost 2 hours of my night last night
Yeah.
to Instagram because I'd never really been on it before, and there's pictures of everything. And so if you search like hashtag whatever the hell thing you're looking for, you're going to find like
Millions.
thousands and millions
Yeah.
of pictures. And I started looking at it at like 5:30, and then it was 7:30, and I'm like, I have to never go on Instagram again.
There you go.
Right.
Now you're
Like
hooked.
a serious addiction.
But
Yeah.
I didn't. I was gonna start following or liking or whatever all these pages, but the only Instagram I have is our Rebel Health Tribe one. So I didn't because I didn't know what effect it would have on our Rebel Health Tribe Instagram.
None
if
really.
all of a sudden there was like 170 tattoo artists
Yeah.
things. So like I didn't want to. So I need to get my own Instagram, but I'm kind of scared to do it because I don't want to have another giant time suck. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you on that. I have a hard time with that too. I try not to try to limit that time.
Like what happens when a woman finds Pinterest?
Yeah.
Or Etsy. My ex found Etsy, and I didn't see her for like 4 days, and I didn't know what was going on. So, yeah, the internet is awesome, but it has to be controlled.
Yeah.
Yes, it does. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
my
weird
wife-
too because my kid, when you have children, you have to navigate this in a whole new way.
Mm-hmm.
Because the education system is now relying a lot on internet access and computers, and we're in the dark ages here. We don't even have a TV set in my home.
Well, that's good. That's the way it should be.
Yeah, that's how I met my husband. Actually, we were set up because people thought we were so weird that we both didn't have TV sets.
We don't have a TV.
Oh, you know?
I have an extremely large computer monitor, so like if it's 27 inches, which is big for a computer monitor. So if I have Netflix or something, or I download things, like I do watch occasional like movies or documentaries or occasional shows or something, but yeah, I gave away my TV when probably 2013, and I haven't had cable since 2011. And you're right, people freak out about it, and now when I go somewhere and they're all like zoned out in front of the TV, it like physically makes me feel like crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, especially with the kids, you have to strike this balance between. I mean, you have to introduce technology to a certain extent.
Mm-hmm.
There's opportunity there, but at the same time, it's like I don't want my kid sitting in front of an iPad all day either.
Right. No, it's tricky. I'm lucky mine aren't that interested. They don't have cell phones yet, or.
Wow, at 13 and 11, no cell phones. That's fantastic.
Nope.
I usually see like 8, 9-year-olds walking around with iPhones already.
Yeah, I'm the only one that has an iPhone, and my husband still has the old flip phone.
Even being a tech guy?
I know.
That says something.
Mira just went back to a flip phone, and I'm jealous of her. It's over there on the table. She's out at the climbing gym, and she just leaves it on the table because it doesn't really matter. Like
Right.
So I'll send her. I used to, when she was at work, I would send her like pictures or videos or things I found on Facebook and send it to her Facebook. And when she was bored, she'd look at them. Whatever. We had this whole like thing, and now I don't even have any way to do that. It's just funny because I go to send it, I'm like, oh, and then I'm like, I'll send it in a text. No, her phone doesn't get those messages either.
Wow.
My husband doesn't text either, so.
Yeah, it's just phone calls and text messages.
So I mostly text from the computer because I just hate. I don't have the finger thingy on my phone.
Swipey.
I just don't have a big enough phone, I guess, so I can't text that easily on my phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm jealous of her.
I can barely type correctly on the computer, so I'm not.
I think that's trending. I think that's the thing. Everyone's going to start moving back to
backwards
flip phone. Before you know it, we're going to be back on rotary phones in our houses, with landlines.
I used a landline phone in Nicaragua.
We still have a landline.
We have a landline.
Yeah.
Wow.
I even have a corded phone, so when the electricity goes out, I can still call.
See, that's
I
thinking.
I haven't had a landline since I moved out of my parents' house in 1998.
Wow, really?
Yeah. So
That's
I didn't even know. I didn't have a cell phone either. I didn't have a phone when I was in college for a couple of years, like at all. Like I didn't have any type of phone.
You're way younger than me because I didn't get a phone until after my first child was born.
I got one when I was 26 or 24. I was 24 when I got one, but most of my friends had them when I was like 18 or 19.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't want one because I saw like people could always find them and get a hold of them and talk to them and things. And like I always said, if you want to talk to me, come to where I am.
Right, talk to me.
Yeah, talk to me. And I didn't want it. And now I was in Nicaragua for those weeks, and there's no internet. Like my phone didn't work, one, because you have to get a special thing for it, and I didn't. And there's occasional internet, certain places that you could get into Wi-Fi, but not very much, and it was really slow, so you couldn't do much of anything. And so for over 2 weeks, like, I didn't have any of it, and it was amazing. It was so good. But, I mean, we work on the internet, though, too, so, like, I can't bash it. Like, I couldn't exist somewhere right now where there's no internet because I couldn't work. So I'd like to just have something where I can access the internet for, like, 3 hours a day, and then the internet doesn't exist for me.
That would be good.
So we need to invent that. Like a phone that you can't override it. Like it just shuts off the internet certain times of day, and you just can't. So maybe we'll get on that.
They have hacks for that. They have stuff that turns off your Wi-Fi in your house and all that stuff. Yeah.
Interesting.
Dave Asprey, I think Dave Asprey on the Upgrade itself, he's got a lot of that stuff listed.
Cool.
Turn that stuff off.
Well, I'll just say that I'm old enough to remember pagers. I did have a pager back in the day.
I had a pager in high school.
Yeah. So I thought that was like the coolest thing in the world. I remember actually in high school having a pager and not like it didn't really work. It like wasn't hooked up. I just wore it because I thought it was cool.
Well, you know, so my kids have walkie-talkies, which is really quite funny. So.
Oh, nice. That's what we need to do. We need to go back to.
Right, the walkie-talkies, right?
Walkie-talkies and CBs.
CBs, yeah. Well, the thing that's really funny is when they use the walkie-talkies in the house, our house isn't that big, and you can hear each other like from upstairs to downstairs.
You're right.
And they're on the walkie-talkies, right?
That's hilarious. Yeah, but it's fun. That's good. Yeah. That's good stuff. All right, Lisa, we'll let you go. Lisa's
before we get too ridiculous.
Yeah, I know. That was fun, though. It was a good conversation.
Yeah, great stuff. Yep. Kudos to you for talking the technology trend.
Yeah. Yep. I was teasing Michael that I was going to be your first naked interviewee.
That would probably be a pretty high-rated show.
Anything for the ratings and reviews. Yeah. When I emailed her earlier to let her know you were running a minute or two late, she was in the process of getting ready and made that comment in the email, and I said, well, it would probably increase viewership. So.
Yeah. Well, you know,
scare people off. Maybe if I did it 20 years ago.
That's the second. Jen Fugo mentioned that too. Maybe we're onto something.
Yeah, Jen Fugo said something. I don't remember exactly what she said.
Maybe we need to have like an adult Rebel Health Tribe podcast.
That's interesting. Yeah. We could just change the whole direction of Rebel Health Tribe and go in a completely different direction. Okay. Do that.
I think we're cut off.
Really talk about body acceptance, right?
That's true. We could pry it in there somehow and make it work.
It would definitely open the audience to a new demographic, probably.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we want that.
I'll put some notes on that.
Yeah. All right, good enough. All right, Lisa, thank you so much.
Thanks Lisa.
Guys. I hope I didn't bore people too much.
No, it was good. It was a lot of fun.
Thanks.
I'll talk soon. Bye.
It was great talking to you both.
You too.
All right, bye.